Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the end game officially. We have gotten spoilers for episode 215 through episode 218 from Organic Dinosaur. Thank you to her for translating this. And also, I do have to point out, this right here is going to be direct 100% manga adaptations throughout all of them. So 100% we're getting straight to the combat, straight to the good stuff, as people like to call it. But regardless, I'm gonna not necessarily waste your time into Boruto episode 215. I already made a video specifically talking about episode 215, so I'm not necessarily gonna give my comments afterwards, but I do want to actually restate exactly what's in these spoilers so the people who didn't necessarily see that video can actually be up to date. But regardless, the title says prepared. Into the actual paragraph it says, finally Ishiki has revealed his true identity. In order to get his hands on Kawaki, who will become his new vessel, Ishiki raised the Konoha village. Ishiki is an entity from the Otsutsuki clan who is beyond human comprehension. The only ones who can oppose Ishiki are Naruto and Sasuke, who have decided to make preparations to intercept and engage him in combat. Meanwhile, Boruto is unable to contain himself and stand idly by without doing something about the situation. Boruto thinks that he wants to battle alongside his father, Naruto, and his mentor Sasuke. On the other hand, he's been etched with the karma and has been driven by his feelings and anxiety about what if my consciousness gets hijacked by Momoshiki again. With a decisive battle about to unfold, Naruto is one step ahead of them and has already decided to make contact with Ishiki. Alright, so again, as I said, I talked about this already in the video prior, so if you guys want to hear my thoughts about the spoilers about this video right here, there you guys go. The next one is going to be Boruto episode 216. The title is going to be Sacrifice. Specifically, this comes out September 19th. Into the actual paragraph it says, in order to carry out their decisive battle, Boruto drags Ishiki into another dimension. Later on, Naruto and Sasuke also vanish into the dimension. The three of them have been entrusted to fight for the sake of protecting the village and Kawaki, despite Ishiki's powers being on a whole other level. The ones who have been left behind in the village can only hope for their repatriation. Meanwhile, Amato, one of the top brass of the kata, mentions something in front of Narushikamaru, Kawaki, and the others who have remained. Boruto definitely holds the key to this battle, but what is the meaning of those words? Alright, so this right here is very interesting. I kind of covered a bit of this in my last video. Boruto is actually going to drag Ishiki Otsutsuki into another dimension. This right here is very interesting, mainly because Boruto is using this ability from his Karma Seal, but we haven't necessarily seen Boruto actually use it before. We've only seen him use it in conjunction with Kawaki. We understand that Boruto and Kawaki's Karma Seal, they resonate off of each other and they essentially make each other stronger in that particular way. Boruto is now showing that he can do this ability solo, completely alone, which is absolutely insane. It might be a good thing, mainly because that means that Boruto is getting used to the Karma Seal a little bit more, and he could potentially be stronger with the Karma Seal, or it might be a bad thing, mainly because we understand that the Karma Seal is maturing, and the more it matures, Momoshiki is going to have more of a stranglehold on Boruto's actual body. But this spoiler right here actually does set the stage of exactly who's actually going to be in the other dimension and who's actually going to be fighting with Ishiki Otsutsuki. So it's going to be Naruto, Sasuke, and Boruto versus Ishiki Otsutsuki. I don't necessarily want to give too much of the overall spoilers for the anime only out there, so I'm going to keep it specific to this episode right here in the next couple of pages. But a very interesting thing that Amato did actually say is that Boruto definitely holds the key to this battle. Now, at this particular time, I personally believe that there is no possible way that Naruto and Sasuke alone are going to be able to defeat Ishiki Otsutsuki. So the only possible way that I could possibly see them coming out with this dub is if Boruto would actually be taken over by Momoshiki Otsutsuki, and Momoshiki would team up with Naruto and Sasuke and then take on Ishiki Otsutsuki like that. I thought that that team right there would definitely be a very, very good way to actually defeat Ishiki Otsutsuki. But regardless, one thing that we do know for sure is that this battle right here is definitely not going to be easy. Naruto and Sasuke are 100% completely outclassed in this particular battle, so it's going to be very difficult. But into episode 217, the title is going to be Resolved. Now, this one's going to come out September 26th. Into the actual paragraph it says, Naruto and Sasuke have been fiercely fighting in vain. They've been driven into a corner by Ishiki. In order to break the deadlock in their situation, Boruto even attempts to bargain with his own resolve and preparedness to die, but in the end, the tactic fails. He thinks that they have no other means to oppose Ishiki, but at that moment, Naruto emits an amazing intense chakra while standing back up. The tail beast Karma and Kyuubi states this is the ultimate last resort and trump card. In exchange for a mass indemnification, Naruto will gain an immense power, and so Naruto begins his counter-offensive against Ishiki. As Naruto completely overwhelms Ishiki, he's able to dramatically reverse their predicament. But then, alright, so this right here is the end game that I was talking about. This right here is that Naruto is now going to enter Baryon mode, the mode that everybody has been pretty much fawning over for the past year in regards to Naruto, and obviously the big things that actually do come with Baryon mode. I'm not necessarily going to get into specifically what that is, but regardless, this right here, a mode that can actually rival Ishiki Otsutsuki, This is going to be absolutely insane. Now, in regards to the burying mode that Naruto actually does have, that right there is viewed as his last resort. Now, this right here has nothing to do with the actual episode. This is just my opinion on this. Sasuke himself, it seems that he doesn't really have a trump card, and that right there is interesting, but mainly because we understand that most elite ninjas, they have a trump card, and for Naruto to show his and Sasuke to not have one, that right there is kind of interesting. But regardless, it also says that Naruto completely overwhelms Ishiki Otsutsuki. So what it is looking like is that the anime is going to portray that Naruto is definitely stronger than Ishiki Otsutsuki when Naruto was actually in Baryon mode. Now the manga kind of echoed that a little bit, but it still seemed a little bit close. It wasn't like Ishiki Otsutsuki was getting absolutely destroyed. So I definitely do want to see exactly how they portray this in the anime. Now not only that, they did say the but then ... with the question mark. They always do that. That pretty much makes us think like, hey, maybe Ishiki Otsutsuki is going to reverse the tables, and that right there is definitely a possibility. So I do want to see exactly how the anime portrays this. In the Boruto manga, this right here was absolutely amazing. Everybody loved this chapter, so I definitely do want to see them actually make this very, very good, similar to Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen. Just so far, if you guys were to ask me my opinion, I think episode 216 is probably going to have, probably to this point, the best animation. I think episode 217, the animation could possibly slack off a little bit, but the art has to be absolutely top tier, because again, this is going to be Naruto's Baryon mode. The Baryon mode first appearance has to look absolutely amazing. I know Boruto before has dropped the ball a lot of times in regards to animation, but this right here has to be great. Into the next episode, episode 218. The title is going to be Partner. Into the actual paragraph, it says Naruto and his team are exhausted from battling Ishiki, but suddenly in front of their eyes, Boruto attacks Sasuke. Momoshiki has hijacked Boruto's consciousness and now stands in front of them as their enemy. Kawaki frantically calls out for Boruto to regain his consciousness, but Kawaki's voice can't get through to him. Then Sasuke informs Kawaki about a method for Boruto to regain his consciousness, and so Kawaki plans an all-or-nothing strategy to unleash a ninjutsu that he learned in order to save Boruto. Meanwhile, Naruto gives a sidelong glance at Kawaki and the others fighting to the death. Within his own hazy consciousness, Naruto and Karma calmly talk to one another and reminisce about their former days together. Oh my goodness, this episode right here is going to be absolutely amazing. I personally believe that this right here has to be a top 5 episode in the Boruto series. It's going to be special. So first things first, it makes it seem like Ishiki Otsutsuki is already dead. The first sentence was Naruto and his team are exhausted from battling Ishiki, essentially saying that Naruto and his team actually did beat Ishiki. Before I get to the Boruto thing, another big thing was the fact that Kawaki frantically calls out to Boruto to regain his consciousness, essentially saying that Kawaki is now in this dimension. How Kawaki got here, manga readers we know, anime readers, that right there is a complete mystery, but he's going to inevitably get to the battlefield. Now not only that, the big part, Boruto is now hijacked by Momoshiki Otsutsuki. Boruto has essentially turned into Borushiki again and then attacked Sasuke. This right here and the Boruto manga when it happened was an absolute game changer. You could quite literally say that Sasuke and Naruto were not the same after this episode right here is going to be absolutely sad. And speaking of Naruto, it says that Naruto gives a sidelong glance at Kawaki and the others fighting to their death. Within his own haziness and consciousness, Naruto and Karma calmly talk to one another and reminisce about their former days together. This right here has to be better than what the manga actually did portray. Episode 219 should be, my personal opinion, should be an anime only episode. That's just me, and people who actually do know what that last statement means, you guys would probably agree as well. In the Boruto manga, it wasn't necessarily handled the best way. How do I say this without giving spoilers? I don't know. Let's just say they need to redo that and handle it much better. But regardless, Naruto not necessarily joining in the fight with others, basically fighting for their lives. It's a very good reason for that. I just want to point that out. But it seems like Ishiki Otsutsuki is actually defeated. This episode right here actually does say that. Now, Kawaki himself, it says that he's still here. It might be the situation where Kawaki does get the Karma Seal. Who knows? Yo, I'm really trying not to give spoilers right here, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about these next episodes in the comment section below. I personally believe it's going to be endgame. As I told you guys, this right here is essentially where we are in the Boruto manga. Obviously, there are still a couple more chapters ahead, but let's be honest, story-wise, plot-wise, this right here is a very good portion of it. And I think after this, I could possibly try to make more, you feel me, manga theories, so the anime onlys don't even really get spoiled. So I've been trying my best, but let me know what you guys think about these episodes in the comment section below. It's me, your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.